They say when your game is 90% complete, you are really only 10% of the way there. And this is super true. I've been polishing my game for about 2 months now and still have way more to do. You might say this is a long time, but I also had a month-long art event in May to host, and I moved a few weeks ago as well. But every layer of polish makes Void Titan feel that much better. Void Titan is a game where you play as an elite soldier tasked with stopping massive rogue terraforming machines by collecting and crafting the necessary items, all while staying ahead of a massive death wall that is the Void Titan. So not terribly complicated, though now that I had the core gameplay in place, I still needed some sort of tutorial regardless of complexity. So I made 5 training levels that must be played in order, and each will progressively teach you how to collect the 6 types of matter needed to craft items in the game. This way, recipes will be unlocked slowly and keep the player from feeling overwhelmed with information. And for those players out there who really just don't like tutorials, I added an option to skip all the tutorial levels so you can get right into the meat of the game, but can always return and play them later. I'm pretty confident the tutorial is balanced and instructive because I even had my sister, who is very much on the noob end of the player spectrum because she doesn't play any video games at all, playtest the tutorial, and she quickly learned how to play the game and gave me a mountain of helpful feedback. With the dreaded tutorial resolved in a satisfying way, I buckled down and started improving everything I could. I updated sprites, added effects, lights, and actually finished drawing and animating the player character, Yarrick Verone, including some cool changes to how the matter cannon looked and felt, no longer attached to his back, but instead floating over his shoulder and sending matter wirelessly to his pack. I also came up with a design for the Void Titan, although it is subject to change, and I added many ease of life features that a player is only going to notice if I didn't add them, such as the ability to walk up 1 block high slopes, or click and drag functionality for sorting recipes. Kind of funny how there are so many things in video games that we don't even realize are there, but notice as soon as the dev forgets to add them. Then I also added just a bit of screen shake. I also improved all the menus. Due to the game being pixel art, I found many of the menu items looked really grainy, so I doubled the sprite size of all the UI, then halved their size in the engine. It might sound a little confusing, but it resulted in cleaner lines and clear text. And I added a tooltip screen that pops open if you hover over any UI elements in the game. It needs some spell checking and drafting, perhaps some images too, but I have it in place and working, so it'll just take an afternoon to get all the content in there. Then with the help of my friend Robot, I've continued to improve the terrain generation, effectively tripling the distance you can travel before there is a drop in frame rate. Now it's kind of a shortcut, but also a good game design choice, but I plan on having a message pop up if you get too far ahead of the Void Titan. The idea being that if you are too far ahead, then you might stray out of its pathway, making it impossible for you to get back in front of it, or something like that. Yeah, I know it's a 2D world and that shouldn't be possible, but just pretend it's not. This way, whatever lore-friendly excuse I give, it will force the player to remain close enough to the Void Titan that they will always feel the pressure of it looming closer and closer. The nice side effect of this is it would also keep the player from getting too far ahead to cause any lag. But even with that, I will continue to work on ways to reduce lag. Anyway, if you haven't noticed, I decorated the home space, probably my favorite improvement because it looks so awesome. And because it looked so great, I plan on having all the blocks you can build with in your building space reflect this cool look to some extent, and each player will be able to customize and personalize all day, as long as they can afford it, of course. Because this is my first commercial game, I plan on releasing a free public demo, so I needed to come up with a way to provide a feel for the game without giving away the whole experience. After several weeks of brainstorming, I settled on an alternate mission that changes the goal from killing the Void Titan as fast as possible to delay the Void Titan for as long as possible within a time limit. This way you would still get the thrill of being chased down by a massive killing wall, but wouldn't get the full satisfaction of killing it. Not only would this provide a great alternate mission for the demo, but it expands the playable missions in the full game. So if you enjoy this type of mission, you could always choose to play it even if you have the full game. It's just a little extra content that I think is well worth it. Anyway, I also plan on making some of the earnable recipes purchasable in the demo, but keep most of them available only in the full game. That, combined with the limited delay mission, will provide a great space for you to get the feel of the game without giving the full game and experience away. Speaking of recipes, I'm going to be spending the next few weeks working on adding as many fun recipes as possible. As mentioned in the last devlog, these recipes will hopefully change the way a player approaches each mission, giving them new options to explore and something to work towards. Right now I'm planning on making a device that will dig very quickly straight down to help you get to some of that harder to reach matter, and perhaps some blocks that will auto-fill in gaps, forming a bridge. If you have any suggestions for cool recipes or craftable items for the game, as always, I would love to hear your ideas. I'll let you know when the Steam page goes live. It's in the works right now, but otherwise, thanks for watching and have a beautiful day.